Welcome to Relationships at Work, the Emerging Leader's Guide to Creating a Workplace We Love. I'm your host, Russel Lolacher, a communications and leadership nerd with a couple of decades of experience, actually, in both of those areas. But what I also have, which you may or may not know, is a bunch of curiosity. It's the engine that started me down the path of creating this show, because I want to help lead and work together to improve the employee experience just like you, and I'm curious how to do so. So this show has become a great resource to help with that. Every week on the show, I talk with a local or global leader on the topics that are here to help you improve the workplace, tackling negativity, reimagining leadership, diversity, communication, empathy, burnout, mental health, so many topics. If you haven't had a chance to go through the beautiful little library that I've acquired, created, pick a verb. Anyway, please go check it out. I'm pretty proud of the amazing ideas, thoughts, mindsets that have already been shared on the show. And now, as an added bonus, free in fact, I'll be sharing an additional episode pulled from the pages of our weekly Raw Note, which you can still subscribe to. It's a quick, valuable bit of information on top of our regular show, which comes out every Tuesday. So for this particular Raw Note that I'm passing along to you, it's called No Agenda, No Respect. When's the last time you had a meeting without an agenda? And when I say no agenda, I mean that those being asked in attendance are not aware there is one. This could be a meeting that was planned months in advance, like a monthly or a quarterly all-staff meeting, or this could be just a quick little last-minute check-in at the end of the day. Of course, we've all had meetings in our calendar. When we look ahead at our week, we see, why am I going to that meeting? What's it about? Who are some of these people? But we just accept it because that's what we do. Sorry, I have to take a stand. Every meeting has to have an agenda. Every meeting. According to a study by the Harvard Business Review, a couple of studies in fact, meetings with clear agendas anywhere from 80 to 150% more productive than those without agendas. That's a lot. And imagine how unproductive you are without one. Now, when I say agenda, it could be a detailed minute-by-minute synopsis of the meeting hours. Or it could be just like one bullet that says, this is what we're meeting about and why. Just for a quick connection. It doesn't matter how long the agenda is, as long as it illustrates the intent. No agenda is a demonstration of a lack of respect. Now, anybody hearing that and going, no, I don't disrespect anybody. Well, we're doing it whether we want to or not. That's what we're communicating when we don't take the time to write one and share it. Why? It respects time. Employees have to plan and time manage their days too. So anytime we can help them with their workload or mental load to prepare for these meetings is crucial. So they need an agenda to know what the meeting's about. Number 2, it respects them as colleagues. Not providing an agenda implies your time is more important and their preparation doesn't matter. Number 3, it helps them prepare mentally. Introverts and neurodivergent employees, they find confidence in knowing what they're getting into, what the meeting's going to be about ahead of time. The less surprises and unknowns, the better for their mental health. Am I personally good at this? Hell no. I can't tell you how many quick meetings. Hey, you got a minute? I do it all the time. I need to be better at this. We all need to be better at this. But I've learned so much about diversity and inclusion that honestly, if you think those things are important, then you can't ignore an agenda's importance either. So how do we make sure those agendas are part of our practice at work? Okay, a couple ideas. Do this. Number 1, plan ahead. Schedule those meetings in advance to allow ample time for agenda preparation. Try to avoid those last-minute meetings. I'll try if you try. Number 2, determine objectives. Clarify the purpose of the meeting and the outcomes you're trying to get out of that meeting. What are the topics? What are the issues? What needs to be addressed? List them based on importance and relevance. Include that in the agenda. Set time allocations. Assign time slots for each agenda item so people know what topics need the most discussion and which don't. Share it in advance. I don't know if this needs to be said or not, but share it in advance, ideally at least 24 hours before. That way people can review it and prepare for it. Also, if you can, include any materials or background information that's needed. The more they're able to prepare, the better. And 5, encourage input and feedback. If attendees can contribute agenda items themselves, it gives them ownership of the time that they're going to spend with you as well. And last, evaluate and fix things. After every meeting, fine-tune the agenda. I'm sure there's going to be some things you did well, some things you did not do so well, maybe how you delivered it. It all deserves feedback. So take the time to collect some. I honestly don't think meetings should happen at all if there's no agenda. That's a hard line I have. If somebody asks for a quick meeting, I will actually turn around and go, but what's it about? I will call them out on it right away because I'm sure it's important to them and I'm sure they're busy, but I have to know how important the meeting is so I can allocate the time and the resources and the mental load to figuring out what I'm going to invest in and how I'm going to invest it. If there's no agenda, it just perpetuates a culture that doesn't respect other people's time, it doesn't respect their mental health, and it doesn't respect their work. And none of us want that. So show a little respect. Share an agenda, why don't you? And that will wrap it up for another episode of Relationships at Work, the Raw Note edition. This is the Emerging Leader's Guide to Creating a Workplace We Love. I'm Russel Lolacher. Thank you so much for listening. If you have a moment, please like and subscribe the show. There's tons of opportunity to do that, whether on Apple, Spotify. Any little nudge in a positive direction does nothing but help this show get more discovered, more viewed. All right, you have a great day. Take care.